The five of them were transported to a new, unfamiliar place after passing through the teleportation array. "Are you okay?" As soon as they landed, Xiao didn't have time to inspect the surroundings because he noticed that Mu Yingying, whose jade-like hand he was still holding, was staring at him in a daze. Her eyes were distant, as if lost in thought. With Xiao voice breaking the silence, the others, Xiao, Depeng, and Mu Feng, all turned their gaze toward Xiao and Mu Yingying, clearly curious about the relationship between the two. "Ah, I'm fine," Mu Yingying quickly snapped back to reality, her face flushing bright red. She hastily withdrew her hand, looking as shy as a startled deer. "Impressive." Mu Feng gave Xiao a thumbs up with a playful grin. "Stop messing around. Let's focus on the task," Xiao said dismissively, paying no attention to their teasing as he began to survey the unfamiliar surroundings. However, in that moment, an unexpected change occurred. The five of them had earned their right to enter the Xuanling Imperial pool, and it seemed that the teleportation array on the first level of the underground palace had indeed been the entrance. Xiao quickly pieced this together in his mind. With a flash of brilliant light, the five disappeared from the underground palace and reappeared in a new location. Looking around, Xiao noticed that they were still standing in a space connected by a teleportation array similar to the one on the first level of the underground palace. Not far ahead was a path leading somewhere unknown. "Hurry!" As soon as Xiao and Depeng landed, they shouted and ran off hand in hand, quickly disappearing down the wide passageway that was about 5 meters across. "What are they up to?" Mu Feng asked, confused. "This isn't good. We need to catch up," Xiao said urgently. Although he didn't know what the siblings were planning, it was clear that as the Xuanling royal family's prodigies, they likely had knowledge about the Xuanling Imperial pool that the rest of them didn't. Mu Yingying and Mu Feng nodded in agreement, and the three of them gave chase. Mu Yingying, who was close to breaking into the 5-star Do-Di realm, felt confident that even though the siblings were strong, catching up to them wouldn't be too difficult. Xiao trailed behind the others, releasing his soul power as he ran, his expression becoming more perplexed. "The Xuanling Imperial pool," he thought. "Shouldn't it be a body of water like a river? But I don't hear any flowing water." Just as Xiao was trying to make sense of this, he stopped abruptly, staring blankly at the ground beneath him. He had noticed something strange. The seemingly flat pathway had a slight bump in the middle, which was odd and unnatural. "What's wrong, Xiao?" Mu Yingying noticed that something seemed off as well. She had slowed her pace, abandoning the chase to investigate, and walked back to Xiao. "Did you find something?" Mu Feng asked, realizing they hadn't yet reached the Xuanling Imperial pool. He turned back to join them. "There's something odd about this place," Xiao said. "Look at what's beneath my feet." He crouched down and pointed to a strange, shimmering stone protruding slightly from the ground. "It's just an ordinary stone, isn't it?" Mu Yingying asked, puzzled. Though the stone was indeed prominent, it didn't seem to serve any particular purpose. She couldn't figure out what Xiao had discovered. "Mu Feng, what do you think?" Xiao turned to Mu Feng, hoping for a second opinion. "This stone. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before." Mu Feng rubbed his forehead, trying to recall. After a moment, his eyes lit up. "It's not just any stone. It's called a fish source stone." "Fish source stone?" Mu Yingying repeated, kneeling beside Xiao to inspect the stone more closely. As soon as her hand touched it, an icy cold sensation washed over her body. "This stone is strange. There seems to be some sort of power inside it," she commented after a brief moment of contact. "That's right. This is indeed a fish source stone," Xiao confirmed. "It's a rare type of stone, similar in value to an energy crystal. It can absorb and store Do-Chi or other mysterious energies for people to use." Mu Feng nodded. "Yes, but its value goes beyond that. It's said that fish source stones only form when a powerful being falls. The fish in its name refers to something specific, something known as the heaven-eyed fish," Xiao explained. "What is the heaven-eyed fish?" Mu Feng asked, still somewhat unclear on the details. "The heaven-eyed fish aren't individuals or a species of fish, but an entire group. They once struck fear across the mystic three heavens," Xiao said. "They originally lived in the oceans and were prey for humans. But for some unknown reason, the heaven-eyed fish developed the ability to cultivate, and their enormous numbers caused a calamity in the mystic three heavens. Eventually, 9 great experts emerged from among them, representing the heaven-eyed fish. And this fish source stone indicates that one of those 9 perished here. Fish source stones only appear where one of the 9 heaven-eyed fish experts has fallen, Xiao said, his expression darkening. This information had come from Elder Zhu, and he knew that the heaven-eyed fish experts were not to be taken lightly. Let's take this fish source stone with us. It might be useful later, Xiao said, his eyes gleaming with determination. A soft, milky white flame enveloped his hand as he reached for the fish source stone embedded in the ground, attempting to pull it out. Damn it! It won't budge. Xiao gritted his teeth, pausing as he felt the stone's resistance. How is that possible? Mu Feng exclaimed, trying to pry the stone free himself. It's like it's fused with the ground. If we can't take it, then leave it for now, Xiao said thoughtfully. He knew the fish source stone was a valuable treasure, containing enough Do Qi to rival even a 7-star Do Di. Moreover, Xiao sensed a strange, almost sentient energy within the stone. Despite their efforts, the stone refused to move, so they gave up on it for the moment. They weren't the type to recklessly pursue treasure, especially in such an unfamiliar and potentially dangerous space. Triggering any traps or mechanisms would be disastrous. Those siblings, Xiao and Depang, have already disappeared. Shouldn't we catch up? Mu Feng asked, concerned. They probably know something we don't and rushed ahead to prevent us from learning it, Mu Feng added, smiling wryly. This was, after all, the Xuanling royal family's territory, so they couldn't easily make accusations. Wait, Xiao said suddenly. He stepped toward the edge of the passage and struck the wall forcefully with both hands. Bang, bang, bang. A series of resounding thuds echoed through the corridor. The sound of Xiao knocking quickly faded, as if absorbed by the hollow walls beyond, and silence returned to the passage. It seems the walls beyond this passage are hollow, meaning, Xiao eyes flickered as he spoke. We've likely entered the 9 fish playing with Dragon Array, a formation belonging to the Heaven-Eyed Fish Clan. What's the 9 fish playing with Dragon Array? Mu Ying asked again, her curiosity piqued like a scholar eager for answers. I think I now understand why those 2 siblings were so eager to shake us off. If I'm right, this passage is just a connecting route. Let's move forward and get out of here first, Xiao suggested with a smile, clearly having figured something out. Mu Ying and Mu Feng nodded in agreement. Despite their confusion, they suppressed their curiosity and followed Xiao along the path. The passage was 5 meters wide and several thousand meters long. It was completely sealed, and even Xiao powerful soul senses, honed to the Imperial realm mortal grade, couldn't detect anything beyond the walls. With no other choice, they pressed on. We're almost there, Xiao said as they neared a brightly lit area ahead. The exit of the tunnel. Finally, we're out, Mu Feng said with a relieved laugh. Ever since discovering the fish source stone, he had been feeling a vague sense of unease. This place, Mu Ying muttered, her eyes filled with suspicion. It feels so eerie. It really is the 9 fish playing with Dragon Array, Xiao said as the 3 of them stepped out into the light. The bright sunlight illuminated their surroundings, and they immediately became vigilant. What lay before them was an immense and bizarre landscape. The area resembled a gigantic basin, high on the sides and low in the center, with paths leading downward into the depths. The 9 fish playing with Dragon Array was centered on the exit they had just emerged from, which was the highest point. The formation extended downward, creating the feeling of a large pond. At the top of the pond, where Xiao and his companions stood, the entire area formed a massive circular basin that sloped inward. So this is the 9 fish playing with Dragon Array, Mu Feng murmured, his voice filled with awe. Even just standing there, they could sense an overwhelming, terrifying aura emanating from the formation. 129. Mu Ying raised her hand and counted the other exits positioned at the highest points around the basin. Sure enough, there were 9 paths, each identical to the one they had just come through. Each path led downward to the center of the basin, naturally forming roads into the depths below. Look! Mu Feng's pupils contracted as he spotted two familiar figures at the opposite end of the basin. It's Xiao and Depang. Hee hee, you're too late. Xiao sneered as he held several small stones in his hand, glancing smugly at Xiao Yin and his group standing at the top of the basin. Brother, don't waste time on them. Let's get down to business. Depang's voice rang in Xiao's mind. Right. Let's handle the task first, and make sure those incense pavilion brats leave empty-handed. Xiao snorted coldly, ignoring Xiao Yan's group. He gripped the small stones in his hand and rushed toward one of the passageways leading down into the basin. Xiao and Depang split up, each holding several tiny stones, and darted toward different paths. What are they doing? Mu Feng muttered, casting a glance at Mu Yingying. Mu Yingying's eyes narrowed thoughtfully as she carefully studied the strange, basin-shaped arena. I remember Elder Zhu mentioning that the 9 fish playing with dragon array is a defensive formation. The core of the formation lies in 9 stones, she began. At its peak, this formation was wielded by 9 heaven-eyed fish experts, whose combined strength could rival even a Do Xian. Each of the 9 stones is guarded by one of the heaven-eyed fish clan's strongest members. Only by collecting all 9 stones can the 9 fish playing with dragon array be broken. And the Xuanling Imperial pool should be located at the center of this basin. The Xuanling royal family has gone to great lengths to protect the Imperial pool. Its value must be far beyond what we imagined, Xiao Yin thought quickly. Mu Yingying, Mu Feng, come here, Xiao Yin said with a smile. I think I know how to crack this formation. Both Mu Feng and Mu Yingying looked at him curiously and moved closer. Here's what we'll do, Xiao Yin whispered in their ears. Is that even possible? Mu Yingying asked after hearing his plan, her expression one of deep contemplation. Xiao Yan's idea was certainly unconventional. It might sound crazy, but Mu Feng grinned, his gaze growing more intense as he looked at the plaza below. It's worth a shot. Let's go, Xiao Yin said in a low voice, and before his words had fully faded, the 3 of them sprang into action, heading toward the center of the basin. When Mu Feng had shouted earlier, Xiao Yin had noticed the strange stones in Xiao and Depang's hands. Combining this with the fact that the siblings had emerged from the bottom of the basin, Xiao Yin realized that the stones must have been retrieved from there. He hurried down the path, determined to investigate further. As they descended, Xiao Yin recalled Elder Zhu's previous advice to him. Every person who enters the Xuanling Imperial pool can gain immense benefits, but the pool is also full of many strange and unknown things. The rewards you receive will depend on the trials you face upon entering the pool. The so-called trials are essentially a type of test, or rather, an assessment by powerful entities. The 9 fish playing with dragon array is a formation with a fearsome defensive power. It was acquired by the Xuanling royal family and likely placed around the Imperial pool to test those who enter. Given the pool's value, the Xuanling royal family would naturally employ such a powerful formation. Xiao Yin, remember, if the 9 fish playing with dragon array fully activates with all 9 fish, not even I could break through its defenses. The only way to succeed is through strategy. The 9 fish playing with dragon array derives its strength from the combined protection of 9 experts. If all 9 are present, even a Do Xian would struggle to last long. But the Xuanling royal family would never fully activate all 9 fish at once, as it would require an immense amount of resources. I estimate they'll activate 5 fish at most. Even with 5 fish active, the formation's power will be enough to rival a perfect 5-star Do D. However, the 9 fish playing with dragon array has a weakness. There are 9 passageways and 1 central battleground. Each passageway is home to one of the 9 heaven-eyed fish clan experts, and your task is to either defeat or gain the approval of the guardian within. By defeating or earning the approval of a guardian, you will receive a stone. That stone is the key to unlocking the 9 fish playing with dragon array and gaining access to the Xuanling Imperial pool. The central battleground holds something you'll need to claim after you've dealt with the 9 experts. Elder Zhu's words echoed in Xiao Yan's mind. It was clear that the Xuanling royal family wasn't going to make this easy, but thanks to Elder Zhu's guidance, Xiao Yan knew what to expect. The poor Xiao and Depang siblings were still pleased with themselves, thinking Xiao Yin and his group had no idea how to break the formation. They hurried ahead, hoping to gather the stones from the Guardians before Xiao Yan's group could catch on, as well as to prevent them from discovering the formation's weaknesses. In just a few breaths, Xiao Yin, Mu Feng, and Mu Yingying arrived at the bottom of the basin. To Xiao Yan's surprise, the basin floor was an empty space several hundred meters wide, with nothing else in sight. Strange, Xiao Yan muttered. His powerful soul force surged out to probe the area, but he quickly sensed something unusual. It seems something is concealing this place. There's a strange force blocking my soul probe, he remarked, his eyes narrowing with curiosity. Just as Xiao Yin was about to take action, Mu Feng hurriedly raised his hand, signaling that he would handle it. I got this, Mu Feng said with a determined look. He glanced at Xiao Yin and, noticing the urgency in Xiao Yan's eyes, quickly began to chant his incantations. Yin-Yang 8 trigrams, Law of Heaven and Earth. Law I, open. A wave of dark green Do-Chi radiated from Mu Feng's body, spreading across the ground and meticulously scanning every inch. Crackling sounds filled the air as Mu Feng's Do-Chi swept over the basin's center, and a series of strange changes began to occur. Meanwhile, in one of the passageways within the 9 fish playing with dragon array, Xiao coughed up blood, his face twisted with anger. Damn it! They figured it out. But it's too late. We still have the upper hand, he said with a grim smile. The 9 fish playing with dragon array is activating 5 of its fish. Once we secure control over 3 of them, there will be nothing Xiao Yin and his group can do. At that point, they'll never enter the Xuanling Imperial pool. Xiao clenched his fists and focused his Do-Chi for an intense battle. Before him stood a menacing figure, radiating an overwhelming aura. The figure's hands and feet were linked to strange objects, and droplets of water constantly dripped from its body. Humph! Xiao sneered, gritting his teeth as the fierce battle continued. Back at the basin, Mu Feng's angry voice echoed. Those siblings are ruthless. Not only did they hide the formation's secrets from us, but they also used an illusion to conceal this crucial element. Good thing Xiao Yin figured it out, otherwise, we would have been in real trouble, Mu Feng said as he fixed his gaze on what had appeared before them. With Mu Feng's use of the Yin-Yang 8 trigrams, the ground began to reveal something beneath the surface. Rumble. White mist suddenly erupted from the basin's center, and as it cleared, something seemed to rise from the ground. What is that? Xiao Yin murmured in shock. Mu Yingying and Mu Feng widened their eyes as they stared at the mysterious object floating in midair. In front of them was a small circular tray, only the size of several palms. It shimmered with a golden hue, exuding an air of nobility. Atop the golden tray was a vividly detailed silver dragon, about several meters long. Its body was covered in bright, silver scales, and its sharp claws and powerful tail gave it an imposing appearance. Its fierce dragon eyes radiated a terrifying aura, and a palpable pressure emanated from it. That, Mu Yingying gasped as she noticed something she had previously overlooked. Around the silver dragon, several lifelike fish were swimming leisurely, as though alive. Strangely, however, their eyes were dull and lifeless, as if something vital was missing. 127. Mu Yingying counted in disbelief. 7 fish, Xiao Yin smiled. Looks like I was right. 7, Mu Yingying muttered. Could it be? Her thoughts raced as she recalled the stones Xiao and Depeng had, and the secrets they had hidden. She seemed to understand something. The 7 fish swam around the silver dragon, moving in an oddly natural formation, as if born to accompany the dragon. But despite their apparent liveliness, the fish were incomplete. Their eyes remained dark, devoid of light. One of the fish, positioned near the dragon's eyes, emitted an especially powerful aura. Based on Xiao Yan's guess, this was the strongest of the 9 fish. No matter how the 7 fish moved, they stayed closely aligned with the dragon, maintaining a formation as if they were one entity with it. However, something was peculiar. 2 fish near the dragon's tail were missing, leaving a noticeable gap. The 7 fish are still here, but the last 2 fish have disappeared completely, Xiao Yin observed, his expression becoming serious. This missing piece puzzled Xiao Yin. Without all 9 fish, it would be impossible to fully activate the array or unlock the Xuanling Imperial pool. It didn't take long for Xiao to realize that the missing 2 fish had likely been taken by Xiao and Depeng. According to what Elder Zhu had told him, only by utilizing the power of these fish could they enter the passageways and awaken the Guardians for a challenge. Without them, no method would allow them to break through the formation. The fish near the dragon's head must be the strongest Guardian. The further down you go, the weaker they become. You two should make your choices quickly, as we don't have much time, Xiao urged. If Xiao and Depeng defeat the Guardians first, they'll gain significant control over the 9 fish playing with Dragon Array, and that will put us at a severe disadvantage. Understood. Mu Yingying and Mu Feng both replied. They were well aware of the gravity of the situation and didn't dare waste time. After carefully considering the remaining 7 fish circling the silver dragon, they made their decisions. I'll take this one, Mu Yingying declared, raising her hand and pointing to one of the fish. The fish she chose was adorned with 5 golden stripes and shaped like a triangle, with its head and tail in perfect balance. Although Xiao wasn't entirely sure of Mu Yingying's strategy, her selection, the 5-striped fish, seemed to be somewhere in the middle in terms of strength. What about you, Mu Feng? Xiao asked. I'll go with this one. Mu Feng's voice echoed as he pointed to a 4-striped fish that radiated a formidable aura. And you, Xiao? Mu Yingying asked, sensing that Xiao had something in mind but hadn't made his choice yet. As for me, Xiao said softly, his gaze fixed on the most powerful guardian, I want to challenge the 9-patterned golden fish. Absolutely not. Mu Yingying immediately objected, her voice filled with concern. The 9-patterned golden fish is definitely the strongest guardian in this array. I can sense that it has the strength of an 8-star Do D. As your senior, I won't allow you to do something so reckless. Don't worry, I have a plan. I won't take unnecessary risks, Xiao reassured her, trying to ease her sudden anxiety. He was slightly bewildered by her strong reaction, but understood that she was genuinely concerned. The 9-patterned golden fish is the most powerful guardian of the 9 fish playing with Dragon Array, Mu Feng added hesitantly. Are you sure you're prepared for this? Having spent time with Xiao Mu Feng knew that despite his calm demeanor, Xiao harbored an undeniable pride and ambition. Such traits were bound to lead him to greatness one day. Even so, Mu Feng didn't share Xiao confidence and chose a more cautious approach, knowing that pushing beyond his limits could be dangerous for his future. I won't allow it. Mu Yingying insisted, unmoved by Xiao reassurance. I'm more than 50% confident in my success. Besides, I have the advantage of an undying body. If things go south, I can still retreat safely, Xiao said calmly. Though perplexed by Mu Yingying's intensity, he didn't realize that over time, his subtle care for her had caused her to develop feelings beyond simple camaraderie. Time is running out. This is the only way, Xiao stated firmly, cutting off any further objections from Mu Yingying. Mu Yingying was left speechless and a little frustrated. She had been trying to prevent Xiao from taking such a dangerous course, but he insisted on it. This left her feeling a mixture of anger and helplessness. Let's move. With his decision made, Xiao wasted no time. His milky white dough cheese surged forward toward the circular tray, where the 7 fish were swimming around the silver dragon. Upon contact, the dough cheese split into 3 streams, each heading toward the head, belly, and tail of the silver dragon. In an instant, 3 fish materialized in their hands. Damn! The cold from this 9-patterned golden fish is chilling me to the bone, Xiao muttered as his body involuntarily shuddered from the icy aura emitted by the fish. Mu Yingying, who held the 5-striped golden fish, also felt the freezing cold seep into her body, making her face turn pale. She summoned her cerulean flames to ward off the chill, and only then did she feel somewhat better. Mu Feng, holding the 4-striped fish, faced a similar challenge. His body glowed with dark green dough qi, barely suppressing the cold energy emanating from the fish. Now that Xiao had taken the 9-patterned golden fish, Mu Yingying the 5-striped fish, and Mu Feng the 4-striped fish, only 4 fish remained circling the silver dragon, which still emitted a terrifying aura, though it remained dormant. Now that we've made our decisions, let's go, Xiao said. If you encounter difficulties, try to hold out as long as possible. If any of us defeat a guardian, we'll come to help the others. Understood. Both Mu Yingying and Mu Feng nodded. Knowing that time was of the essence, they wasted no more words. With the fish in hand, they sprinted out from the basin toward their respective passageways, each aiming to face their chosen guardian. The race against time had truly begun.